Hey Canada, I got some great news for you. We have a new brokerage coming into Canada this month. This has been the fastest growing brokerage ever in the United States. And let me tell you, if you're a single agent, a broker, a team, this is something you have to listen to. The tools that this company is offering to us as agents are incredible.
I'm here with Alex Sarazin, and I'm super excited about this because we all know this. LPT Realty is the fastest growing brokerage in U.S. history. Big whoop. But why is it the fastest growing brokerage in history in the US? And now that it's coming to Canada, I expect the same thing. We're going to break that all down for you. But here's the thing. I don't know much about Canadian real estate. I'm just going to be honest. I love marketing. I love advertising. I can convert leads, and I don't think it matters where you're at to do those things. But the thing I don't understand is the nuance of the Canadian real estate market and what matters to real estate agents. So I brought in an expert on exactly that. Alex, welcome to Real Estate CEOs. I'm excited to learn about what's going on in Canada with LPT Realty. So real quickly, could you give us a real brief breakdown of who you are, a little bit about your history?
Thanks, Isaac. I really appreciate you having me on. So I've been doing real estate about 20 years now. I'm second generation. So I come from a Portuguese mother. So I always say I started at the age of 7 because there's no way you don't work. Those that know. So I've been in the real estate market here in Ottawa, Ontario. Been doing it, like I said, 20 years. I've been through a couple of brokers, and lately we've seen a lot of change in the market. We've seen a lot of change over the last 20 years. We used to have pagers now, and that's not the question anymore within real estate. So we're seeing a lot of changes within the real estate market. I started my career off at Coldwell Banker. That was 21 years ago to be exact. And then I had moved on to a few other brokers that you might know. Keller Williams was one of them. And then we have become Remax through a buyout. I'm leaving eXp Realty, joining with LP Realty that's coming out of the US. Into 3 markets here. We're going to be opening up Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia this month, most likely. So I'm very excited about that. There's a lot of great things that are being offered by this company, and I'm sure a lot of people will just love to hear more about it.
Yeah, without further ado, let's talk about that, right? So let's talk about why this model is needed, because that's something you and I talked about offline was, hey, this model is actually really needed. It's unique in a few different ways that appeal specifically to the appetite of a real estate agent in Canada, right? Don't get me wrong. It obviously appeals to U.S. agents, the fastest growing brokerage in U.S. history, but there's also some components that other cloud-based brokerages that have entered Canada before really couldn't make any significant headway, whereas LPT seems to be different. Talk to me about the first facet that you pointed out to me when we were talking offline, which was the compensation model. Talk to me a little bit about what you noticed there.
I think, when I first started real estate, I think we're probably about 1,100 in my board. Now we're over 4,000 just in one area. In Canada, sits about over 100,000, which is not much compared to the US in the grand scheme of things. But I think the biggest thing that's attracting, and especially for agents that have been in the business a long time, newer agents, even teams, is the flexibility. Meaning you could choose your compensation or your split that you're having, what we call a split with the brokerage here. So, I haven't seen another brokerage offer something like this. And I think the nice thing about that is it lets the agents focus on selling. You're not always stuck on monthly fees. What is my split going to be, et cetera? You really could go back to the basics of what we're supposed to be doing, and that's really selling and taking care of our customers or the consumer out there.
So the flexibility and compensation plan, there's 2 different plans, right? There's this business builder, which is a flat fee model. And then there's the brokerage partner, which is a more traditional 80-20 split with a cap. Can you break those 2 down real quick? Someone's watching this and they're like, hey, give me the goods. What are my choices?
Yeah, I think for those that might be veterans in the real estate, the way I look at it is if you're on a 5,000 yearly split, if you want to say, you're keeping a lot more money in your pocket. That's one thing for sure. And being on the business side of us, it's, our clients are always wondering what we're charging commission, what we're doing. And I think, it's important as agents to know to what we're doing, right? And something that's more flexible like this, could in return better serve off or sellers or buyers in one way.
Yeah.
So that one I find quite attractive for agents that have been in the business for a long time. And as well, on the flip side of it, any new agents looking to attract and grow
Mm.
within the company, this for me as a new agent would be the company I'd start. Like I said, 21 years, still very attractive for those veterans, but someone that's just getting in the business, after taking your licensing, building your marketing and all this stuff, it could get quite expensive. So here's a
Yeah.
company coming out and say, hey, we're here to support you guys. And they know that, financially, especially these days, right? In Canada, the market's a bit different than the US, but their economy's, I would say, not as strong. So these are nice models that, somebody could stay in the business and keep doing what they need to do and sell those houses. So those are quite attractive. And on the flip side of that, when you're looking from a team split or a team of 3, 4, 10. If you could offer your buyer agents or listing agents a better opportunity on the comp plan, then why not? So
Mm.
LPT is a company that I haven't seen this out there. And that's one of the main reasons that we're going over is to offer that option, which I think
Yeah.
should be the way of most brokers, but
Yeah.
it's not. The traditional brick and mortar companies have been doing business the same way for many, many years, right? So here's a
Mhm.
new company. I think it's going to be changing a bit how we do business. I'm excited to see that. And we're going back to helping out the agent standpoint to develop themselves and sell more houses in the end, really.
Yeah, the agent's getting squeezed right now, and nobody seems to be focused on giving them options, right? Like
Yeah.
we as listing agents, here's what I've learned as a real estate agent running a team that was a top producing team um, at various brokerages, is when you provide sellers with options, you're the go-to person that they call. They kind of feel silly calling anybody else who doesn't provide them with options. All cash offer, guaranteed lease back, use our money to renovate your house and pay us at closing, guaranteed sale at your asking price or we'll buy it or whatever it is. When you have those options, you become the go-to person. But it's weird because brokerages only offer one thing. They're like, oh, welcome to our brokerage. Here's your split. Here's your cap, right?
Give me my
Especially the
money
cloud-based
and
brokerages,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And here's your monthly fee. Oh, you don't use any of our tech? Too bad. Here's your monthly fee. Whereas LPT, so just to give down the specifics, if you are on the business builder plan, that's $500 commission per transaction, capped at $5,000 for the year. That's it. So you're reinvesting back in your business. Now there's a 195 transaction fee on all transactions, and then each year on your first transaction, there's an E&O fee that you pay of $500 on that transaction. But the beauty of this is no sign-up fee, no monthly fee, and you're only paying when you're closing. So what I love about that is the alignment, right? LPT only gets paid when I get paid, if that's the plan that I choose. Now, I can also choose if I'm a team leader or somebody who's really aggressive, wants to grow revenue share or get increased stock awards. Well, then you might choose the brokerage partner, which is an 80-20 cap or 80-20 split capped at 15,000 for the year. And here's what I'll tell you. It's not a one size fits all thing. You can choose one and then switch to the other model down the road when it fits your needs. And so one of the things we're going to give you an opportunity to do at the end of this video is actually reach out to Alex, meet with him, and figure out what's the right plan for me. Do I go business builder? Do I go brokerage partner? Do I participate in LPT plus and have an additional monthly fee that I actually get access to stuff that I use? That's all individual, and we want to see what's right for you, the viewer of this video. And Alex is the guy that's going to walk you through it, especially if you're Canadian. But if you're watching this in Florida, it doesn't really matter. He's going to be able to help you out. So those are the compensation plans that we're talking about. Talk to me. So the next thing we talked about when I asked you, like, why is this going to do really well in Canada? You said, hey, there's a lot of flat fee brokers out there who offer similar compensation plans. They usually don't cap and stuff like that, but that's, they're similar in your first couple deals at least. But one of the things you mentioned that makes them stand out, even if all things were the same, like let's say they were identical fees and all that stuff. One of the things you pointed out was marketing. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw in terms of marketing for LPT that, like, if I'm watching this, I should be excited about.
Think the biggest thing, and I have one, I should have brought it in here, but they have these beautiful toolkits. I guess I'm going to call them that. Is when you list a property, you just put in your information and you have a nice box that's delivered to you. And to me, some agents might say, well, I do that already. But the fact that you have a brokerage that is supporting you as an agent, and it just, again, tells us Our job is out there to go and sell, service the clients, sellers and buyers. And here's a company that's pretty much doing the legwork that we need instead of spending time. So again, it gets you back boots on ground again, just meeting people and offering these flyers, etc. And it puts the agent first again. And this is, to me, the big thing that LPT is doing, and no other brokerage is doing. And I see, Isaac, you're bringing it here.
Yeah.
I was just about to grab mine, but thank you for grabbing yours. But I got my eyes on this. I think, well, I follow a long time Robert Palmer with his company doing this. I think I came across this maybe 8-9 years ago in Arizona at a conference, but I finally got a package last week come in, and it kind of blew my mind. And if you look at what's in there, it pretty much says, here's the info, but the door hangers, the cards, it gets the agents back out there. Now, you could get these at home, but if you don't do what you're supposed to do, well, of course, it's going to sit in the box. But as an agent, after you get that listing, this is the most important thing we do. And we do that within our team is going out to promote the listing. You never know when a neighbor within that radius neighborhood has a friend, family, or looking to upsize, and the tools are being given to us, right? Literally. And the fact that, there's no monthly fees, et cetera, like that, again, it refocuses on the agent. Say, hey, guys, we're here to support you. And this blew my mind when I first saw it. I'm like, it's such a small thing, but it's a huge thing. And especially for realtors, we always have that time of the year or month where things are slow, or, or we're thinking about getting out of real estate. How many times that's happened to me in 20 years, right? Is always, am I going to sell another house? Well, these are the tools for you to say, hey, wake up, get out there, and they're given to us. So to me, you can't be more agent focused or centric as a company when you're pretty much backing up every agent within the company with products like this. So brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely. So that's the listing power tool kit, right? That's specific to listings. We get those free on every listing we take. So what happens is we get a demo box, just like the one I showed you. It's got 168 pieces of marketing material. It's got the sign writer, it's got the door hangers, it's got business cards, all of it specific to one property. So when you're showing this at a listing presentation in the demo box, you're casting the vision for, hey, I'm going to market your property better than anybody else. So one, these boxes in the demo version are helping us win listings. So then we go ahead and order them. We upload three photos, click a couple buttons. All we do is pay shipping. We don't pay hundreds to have it designed and then hundreds to have it printed and then have it run late. Nope, we just couple quick buttons. LPT owns the print facility that prints all of this and ships it all out. So then that comes in, and to Alex's point, we then empty the box, right? We go hang the door hangers, we hand out the flyers, we knock on the doors, we run the open house, we put the signage out there. The single property website's created for us through this process. All that's done seamlessly. So here's the thing that I noticed is that if LPT decided to just disappear tomorrow, I would have to create this again now that I know how well it works. Like I would have to go figure out how to get my own marketing boxes for demonstration at listings and how to actually run it every time. Because here's what it does. And by the way, they have buyer versions of this. They have prospecting versions of it, open house versions of it, right? We'll just focus on the listing one because this is the one you get for free on every single listing. All you do is pay shipping. Here's what's really interesting about that is that when you use it to win the listing, great. Then you actually order it. Here's a secret. Get it shipped to your seller's house so they get to see the materials, right? And now you're on the hook, though, because now you got to do work. You got to do what you said you were going to do, which is going to attract more buyers and potentially get more listings. So now in this one toolkit that LPT provides for us, that's hundreds of dollars of value every single time, and it's seamless, right? What we're doing is winning more listings. We're finding how to sell them faster and leveraging them to get more business. That's huge. That's massive. No other company is building out stuff like that. They're building out really cool, like, I don't know, they're figuring out how to pay more on revenue share and all these other little things, which we have plenty of, and it's great. But that's their emphasis. Our emphasis is how do we get more tools in the hands of real estate agents to help them actually do what it is they set out to do, which is sell more homes. And that's really powerful.
I think, Isaac, not to cut you off there too, but it's a marketing package, and as well as a gym membership. It gets you out there knocking on doors, right? Or dropping those flyers. So it's a 2-in-1 when you look at it. So, but just looking at that, I don't know what it would be in the US, but in Canada, that'd be over $150 easily to get something like that put together. So it's pretty nice. And I played with the system as well, Connect, and my kid could design that, right? It's simple, it's seamless. And again, I was just looking at that and I was talking to my wife, like, my gosh, it's click, 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 and I'm gone, right? And there's no revisions, all this. The system's built out. So again, it's a very smart system and very easy to use.
Hmm.
Over the years, I've used a lot of systems and just, playing on in that on the weekend, again, agent focus, right? It
Yeah.
really is. And that's what LPT does. It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that next piece, right? And it's actually leads perfectly into this next topic, which is the training, right? So one thing that Alex, you might not even know this because it just came out at the time of this recording. By the time we release this, it'll be, a couple weeks old news. But LPT created an initiative called Ascend. They want to become the number one training organization in real estate. And that title was previously held for years, decades even, by Keller Williams Realty. Well, we
Yeah.
just found out that Training Mag, who is the same exact people that bestowed upon Keller Williams that designation, we actually, LPT just got awarded the Apex Award for Training Magazine, which means now we get to have that same claim to fame. And by the way, that comes before we even hit our 3 year anniversary. So, what's really interesting is the innovative way that we're doing training. And without diving too deep into it, I'll kind of break it down. We have new agent training. We have comprehensive training on the back end where AI is actually suggesting to Alex something different than it's suggesting to me because we both have these divergent, real estate goals and career paths and interests and people that we interact with on the system on the back end. And so it's creating these networks to be able to add value. And then in addition to that, is that every time or every week we have four major trainings. There's a bunch of litter throughout that as well, but there's Monday morning motivation with the CEO every single Monday. There's Real Estate First Fridays, which is with a group. There's usually coaches on there, but it's a group from corporate kind of building out the business. And there's two additional trainings for anybody who's part of LPT Plus. LPT Plus is an additional upgraded version of LPT where you do have a monthly fee, but you also get access to things like Real Scout, AM cards, healthcare, all these various things. We have videos on this and it's amazing. You can do it. What's great is that it's a choice. You don't have to participate in those things if you don't want to, right? If you
Yeah.
already have those services. So what's cool about that though is that also has a lead product included in it, right? Seller leads from SmartZip. And so what's great about that is, and Zudilio offers and all these other things, what's great about that is there's actually two trainings specifically for that every week. So imagine that the people who are not only creating the tools for you to go out and do it, they're also training you specifically on those tools because there's some magic to the fact that you and I are working on the same tool set, right? Like if you were showing me how to build a website, but I was using KV Core and you were using Lofty, it'd be kind of hard to go step by step. You can give me some general advice, you can give me some direction, right? And some coaching around it, but you couldn't tell me, click here, do this, wait for that. It'll load like this. Here's how you finish that part. You wouldn't be able to do that. What's great about the training at LPT is they give you the tools. Everyone has access to the same set of tools, and then they train you on those specific tools, right? Step by step. There's something to be said for that. Um, what have you noticed about the training and the environment around that? Because we also have a private mastermind that we run for people that join with us called Real Estate CEOs and Office Hours. Tell me a little bit about your experience
Well, I see a
or your
difference.
thoughts.
I follow a lot of guys in the US, and of course, I was introduced to you by someone, of course, in the US. But
Hmm.
just seeing who is going towards LPT. So I've been following. I guess I was in Florida a couple of years ago, and I saw that rumbling LPT. I've known of Robert for many years.
Hmm.
I followed him on Facebook, partake in a lot of his lives, and he's always been the guy that delivers, right, and
Oh yeah.
execute very quickly. So I'm glad, like when I was talking to a colleague of mine here that's going to be joining LPT as well. I said, you got to keep an eye on this guy. I've been following him for 8, 9 years. I remember watching him in live he had a flip chart and he's just riding over, plans of attack. I think it was over 2 days. And I said, this guy's crazy, right? I got energy, but this guy is something else. So and of course his other business. So he's always been on top of that, and I wouldn't be surprised that what you're telling me about knowing how Robert is on that sense, right, when it's execution. So these are always tools that we're looking for as realtors, right, to grow, to make our life a lot easier. And the context of seeing who's already joining within LPT, and who's got the upper level as well as leadership. I'm not surprised at you saying this, so I haven't seen it yet, but this will be great tools to add. It'll be great tools to add as new agents, and as well as teams, right, to support growing our teams within the inside. So,
yeah,
sure.
and actually, there is something called Team Assist that they have, Recruit Assist that they have. If you're a team leader and you want to grow, you got to remember that they have a vested interest in seeing you grow,
Yeah,
right? They want
absolutely.
to see you succeed in a way that is unmatched at other brokerages, not because they're better or cooler. It's because of the way the structure is,
Yeah.
right? And without getting too deep into it, you can go ahead and watch some of our other videos about the ultimate team breakdown for LPT to learn about that. Um, so let's talk a little bit about this, kind of the last two pieces that a lot of people love. There's so much to talk about, but that people get excited about. One is revenue share,
Yeah.
right? So talk to me a little bit about revenue share at LPT.
I partake quite a bit within EXP. We had quite a bit of people join within our line. So, the nice thing about rev share and WXP, EXP, LPT, people always think, well, how come, right? It's very hard for them to understand the breakdown of how it really works. Again, it's incentive to the agent again, right, to grow themselves, and then they're growing within the company. Then when you're cutting off all these levels, right? We're not naming other brokerages, but how franchises work and where the fees stay and the royalties, et cetera. It's really giving back. So I think within that way of building the business, it's just helping out everybody again, and it's putting more money within the agent's pocket, which has been actually over the years statistically going down, right? Commissions have been going out for us. They have quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Costs have been going up quite a bit, right, for operating. I remember we used to take pictures of a house. It was $99. Now I'm not getting away for less than $1,000 for a video and pictures, right? So
Yep.
Signage. So even before we hit MLS, average them about $1,200, right? Commissions have a drop, but this is another way to keeping the agent within the game, of saying, you know what, if you want to partake to this, then here's the reward we could do, and it helps everybody out in that sense. So again, kudos to Robert and envisioning this, that they're still giving back to the agent, and with growth, what happens, right, when something grows quite big. So it becomes a movement at that point. So you're seeing with all these tools, the failure can only happen on the agent at that point when you have all these tools. And now the excuse is out, right? There's no more excuses. The weather's bad. We got snow. We had snow a foot the other day. Now it's raining. Now we're going to get sun, right? We got 4 seasons in the last 2 days. So these tools are really pushing us, and it falls on you. Real estate is on you. Nobody helps, right? I learned myself, right? Back then, the broker would give you a phone book and say, call. That's how we got business, right? We didn't have, when my mom was doing as a kid, each week you'd have an MLS printout. They'd have copies. There was internet somewhat, Commodore 64. I'm aging myself here, but you needed the agents. Now with the internet and social media, the agent has become second, right, to that for people getting information. So I think with LPT, what they're doing is, again, putting the agent up front and say, hey, let's get out there. Let's go get business. Here's the marketing tools. All you got to do is show up, right? And do what you're supposed to do. So
put in the work. And, talking about revenue share, for some of you guys, you might not care about revenue share. I don't care about that. I don't want to ever recruit people. Awesome. That's totally fine. That's why they created the 2 separate compensation plans, right?
And that's very
a beautiful piece. The fact that you get to ignore a part of a business that in other businesses, they force you into that system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? They go, oh, okay. Oh, you don't care about revenue share? I don't care that you don't care. Here's your cap. Right? Regardless. Whereas at LPT, if you're like, I don't care about that stuff. I'm not worried about that. I'm just here to sell houses and reinvest my gross commission income back into my business to further accelerate it. Awesome. You belong here. Other places, they're like, oh, well, Okay, that's what you want to do. You're still going to pay the same amount as the person who's got these big ambitions for revenue share. Now, here's the great part about revenue share. Even if you don't care about earning revenue share, the beautiful part is guys like Alex do, guys like me do, right? Or I. Here's why that matters. Because now we have an incentive to open our playbooks. Alex has been at 21 years. There's so much he can teach a given person. But guess what? Alex doesn't have an incentive to do that in a lot of places, right? Not saying he's some jerk capitalist pig or anything like that, but he's only got so many hours and so much energy in his life. So he needs to devote it to people that are in alignment with him. Right. And so like that's the commitment. That's the beautiful part about these revenue share companies, not just that you can earn it, but also that other people earn it. And therefore they have an incentive to help you succeed. Right? So one of the things that you're going to do at the end of this call, if you're like, hey, I love the fact that there's no sign up fee, that there's no monthly fee, that I get to choose my compensation plan, that I get free marketing, that we have the best training in the industry. I need to get in touch with somebody to figure that out. Well, you're going to want to reach out to Alex right away. And Alex now has an incentive. When you make the move over, Alex has an incentive to help you navigate challenges, right? It doesn't mean he's going to be your babysitter or your mentor or your therapist and offer you free coaching, for hours a week. But what it does mean is that he has a vested interest in seeing you succeed. So if he has a resource that you might need, if he's connected to somebody else, maybe he doesn't know the best way to get for sale by owners or whatever it is to list with you, but he's part of a network that does. So either way, when you partner up with him, he's going to be a conduit to those different resources. And that's why revenue share should matter to everybody. And then for those of us that want to earn revenue share, great. How easy is it to attract people to a model that's real estate first, agent choice, and all the other things we've already discussed? That's a very attractive model. And by the way, like I said, no sign up fee, no monthly fee. Like there's very few hurdles to attracting people into that model. So that's the revenue share part. The other part is stock. This is a pre-IPO company, and we're issued stock on our first, third, 15th, and for those of us that are brokerage partners, on our 35th transaction. Talk to me a little bit about what you've noticed about the stock play and how that might impact your or anybody else in Canada's decision.
Yeah, I think I have stock. I think a lot of people have stock. I've had stock with the EXP, and I think when you look at it as well as the realtors, I got 21 in. I'm gonna get another 30. I don't know. I wish, right? My retirement plan is to show houses, but on another sense, age does creep in at one point, right? So when it comes to stock, I truly believe it. You look at any large company out there. That's something that they offer to their employees, right? And it's just another thing to get behind you, right? That you keep in retirement, you get that sports car, maybe you want it, maybe you're buying a rental, maybe you're paying off your house, or maybe you're leaving it behind to your children or wife or partner, as you wish. So I think that flexibility is a big thing. And I love that you can get stock, right? Why not? If I'm working so hard in the company and I'm growing it, damn right I want some stock, right? When you think about it. So it's brilliant on that. And I'm excited that what comes in, and those that are at the forefront of it, well, you're going to partake a bit more, I guess you could say, right? So as you know, Isaac, on that point. So I think it's great. I think the time is now. It's December, right? Coming into New Year. It's not much business going on in January. Your business planning was last month. Some people wait till the new year, but it's a great time to be joining LPT Realty, right? A new year, new company, and some stock in your stockings maybe in the future. So I love that idea, and I encourage everybody, even those that are thinking about it, I'm not sure, look into that, right? Look at how many companies are offering that. There's not many, but in the end, without the realtor, the industry doesn't exist, right?
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing too, is if you're considering it, you're taking a look at it, your situation really should determine whether or not LPT makes sense for you right now or in the future. Right now, my argument, and obviously I'm very enthusiastic about LPT, my argument is it's the great fit for everybody. But the reality is it might not be the right fit for you at the moment, but you're not going to know that watching this video. You're not going to know that watching 30 more YouTube videos. The way that you're going to know it is connecting with an expert on who's actually making the move. right? Because there's only so much detail we can give on a video or a podcast or something like that, where what you're going to want to do is actually connect directly with Alex and me to figure out, is it the right fit for you? Because we don't know what's true about your situation. There could be some stuff where it's like, whoa, I wouldn't leave until X, Y, and Z happen, and then it might make sense, right? Or holy smokes, you got to move today in order to capitalize on this other opportunity that you have. You get the point. So, Alex, real quickly, and in the video description and everywhere we post this, you'll have access to Alex's information. But let's say you're driving or something like that, or you can't click. Alex, how do we get in touch with you? Somebody's watching this and they go, dude, I'm in Canada, I'm in New Jersey, I'm in Miami. It doesn't matter. I'm interested in partnering with Alex and Isaac in this group at LPT. How do they get in touch with you?
So I got two ways. One would be my email, alex@alexsarazin.com. That's Sarazin, or Z in the US, right? Z here,
Yeah.
in.com. And my personal number, 613-298-1166. That's my cell phone. If I don't answer, don't leave a message. Send me a text. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
But, I'm really excited about this. And coming back to people, I know change is a difficult thing, right? We always look at it. I know people have been with the brokerage 15, 20 years, and I always ask them, what are you getting? Absolutely nothing, but they don't know what they would get. So, the end of the year is here, tax season's coming. I ask you to look at what you're paying and what you're getting, right? We're in the business of selling real estate. Your client will ask you all the time at the table, what are you doing for your commission? What are you doing for me? It's time that we flip the conversation and say, hey, what are you, the brokerage or broker, doing for me? And this is a conversation that, people think that, oh, we just go along with it, but it's important. If your clients are doing it to you, you should be doing it with yourself first, because in return, you'll be better serving yourself first. And second, you'll have more opportunities to serve your clients differently. And in the end, it's to sell more houses or less, depending where you are in your career, but as well as to serve them the best as you can and having the right tools behind you to do that.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it right here. Alex and we're here. We're committed. We're super excited and enthusiastic about LPT opening up here in Canada. And we want to partner with you. We want to talk with you about how this model makes sense. And then in addition to that, how we come alongside our partners, right? Whether it's helping you get started with video, converting at a higher level, growing your team. We're going to be putting out plenty of content together around that. But if you want to know how it's going to suit you, you're going to want to go in the description below, click that link, or reach out and text Alex directly, right? And figure out what that's going to look like for you. And until next time, really appreciate you, Alex. Let's keep crushing in real estate.
Thanks, Isaac, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.